What if I told you there exists a letter that writes itself, not with ink, not with a hand, but with something unseen, as if the paper itself remembers a story it refuses to forget? This is the true, mysterious case of the letter that writes itself, and by the end of this story you'll be questioning what's real and what's haunting us from the past. The year is 1989. An antique dealer named Thomas Ellery is exploring a long-abandoned manor house just outside the small, misty English town of Whitby. This wasn't just any old house. It had been sealed for nearly 60 years. Imagine the scene: a thick layer of dust coating every piece of furniture, ghostly spiderwebs hanging from the chandeliers, and a silence so profound it almost felt alive. Thomas was on the hunt for forgotten treasures, old clocks, valuable paintings, or perhaps some forgotten jewelry. But what he was about to find was far stranger and far more terrifying than anything he could have ever imagined. Tucked away in the drawer of a heavy mahogany writing desk, he discovered a single, yellowed piece of paper with a lone quill pen lying beside it. The strange part: there was no ink bottle anywhere in sight. As he picked it up, he noticed something impossible. Faint words were appearing on the paper, materializing letter by letter, as if written by an invisible hand. At first, he dismissed it as a trick of the light, his eyes playing games in the dim, dusty room. But the words kept forming, slowly, deliberately, in a dark brown shade that looked eerily like dried blood. The sentence read, "To whoever finds this, I am still here." Thomas dropped the paper instantly, his heart pounding in his chest, his hands trembling. The moment it left his touch, the letters vanished, and the paper was blank once more. He tried to rationalize it, blaming the poor light, the dust, the unsettling atmosphere of the old house. Gathering his courage, he picked it up again, hoping to see it was just his imagination. But this time, a new line had appeared, darker and more urgent than the first. "You shouldn't have touched the desk." From that moment on, the manor refused to let him go. Every time Thomas tried to leave, a sudden bone-chilling cold would sweep through the air. Doors would slam shut on their own, and the very same piece of paper would reappear on the desk, rewriting itself, continuing its cryptic message. He felt trapped, a prisoner in this forgotten place. Finally, in a desperate attempt to escape, he carefully packed the letter into his briefcase, determined to get it home and examine it in a place where he felt safe. But even miles away from the house, the letter wasn't finished with him. Its influence had followed him. Late at night, Thomas would be jolted awake by faint scratching sounds coming from his study. It was a soft, persistent sound, like a pen moving across paper. When he crept in to investigate, he would find the letter on his desk, longer than it was before, with each new word appearing darker, angrier. It now said, "You can't take me from my home." Terrified and sleep-deprived, Thomas knew he was dealing with something beyond his understanding. He contacted a local historian, hoping for some answers. The historian's findings only deepened the mystery. The manor, he discovered, once belonged to a woman named Margaret Whitlow, a reclusive writer who had vanished without a trace back in 1926. Town records showed she was last seen sitting at her desk, writing a letter that was never found. The historian then made a chilling comparison. He pulled up old documents signed by Margaret, and the handwriting was a perfect, undeniable match to the words appearing on Thomas's cursed paper. Driven to the edge, Thomas decided he had to destroy it. He took the letter to his fireplace, his hands shaking as he held it over the flames. But as the fire licked the corner of the paper, he swore he heard a woman's scream echo through his house, not from outside, but from within the letter itself. In that same instant, the fire went out, extinguished by an unseen force. The next morning, the letter was not only intact, but it had rewritten itself again, this time with a plea. "Fire won't free me. You must finish what I started." Below that, several unfinished words hung on the page, as if waiting for someone to complete the story. Against all reason, against his every instinct for survival, Thomas picked up a pen. He sat at his desk, and with the haunted letter before him, he began to write. He described how words flowed out of him that weren't his own, telling a story he didn't understand, filling in the gaps of a life that ended decades ago. He wrote for hours, a channel for a voice from the past. When he finally put the pen down, exhausted, one final line appeared on the paper, written by the same invisible hand. "Thank you. Now I can rest." And just like that, all the ink on the page faded into nothing, leaving the paper completely blank, as if it had never been written on at all. After that night, Thomas Ellery gave up the antique business. He kept the blank letter, sealed in a glass frame, a constant reminder of his ordeal. He refused to ever open it again. Yet the story doesn't quite end there. Visitors to his home sometimes claimed that at the stroke of midnight, they would see faint writing appear on the glass frame, only to disappear moments later. In 2003, when Thomas passed away, the letter went missing from his estate. Some say it was stolen by a curious relative. Others whisper that it simply vanished, finding its own way back to the old manor where its story began. Even today, locals claim that if you dare to visit the ruins of the Whitlow house on a quiet night, you can still hear a faint scratching sound from within, like someone or something is still trying to finish a story that refuses to end. So what do you think? Was this a curse, a genuine haunting, or something far beyond our understanding? Could words themselves hold the spirit of their writer, trapping a soul on a piece of paper? Or was it all just the fevered imagination of a man who touched something that didn't belong to him? One thing is for sure, some letters are never meant to be read, and some stories, once started, will write themselves until the very end. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mysteries. Let me know in the comments what you believe really happened to Thomas and the letter that writes itself. Until next time, stay curious.